Warning: the following stream is for entertainment purposes. The story will touch some sad, sensitive, and important parts of my own life. While most parts are true, some have been changed for the sake of the story and my own safety. So this is how the monster named D4N13L has come to be. Please enjoy the stream. Yet another year passed, and yet the same goddamn face in the mirror. Sup? Uh, so we're here again, aren't we? Honestly, I'm not even sure how to begin this time. Been a whole year. The same, not the same kerfuckle, but it's been similar. Although, I will say this time, we do have a few things that we've gained, didn't we? Well, you know best. You're me, after all. Even if you're still just a young, naive person who has just not yet become the monster that you will in the future. Well, allow me to sing you a song, for starters. And then we can probably explain some stuff to the people of chat. Buckle up, everybody, for this is gonna be a doozy. The first song for today, you probably heard in the past, but I shall sing it for you at least one more time. For old time's sake, and for story time's sake. Oh, shieteo, shieteo, sono shikumi wo. Boku no naka ni dareka iru no kowareta kowareta yo kono sekai de kimi ga wararu nani mo mizu ni 壊れた僕の手さ息を止めてほどけないもうほどけないよ真実さえ Kowasaru, kowasanai, kurureu, kururenai, nata wo mitsuketa. Yureta yudkanda sekai ni tandan bakwa. Skito wo te mienagnate, mitsukenai de boku no koto wo. Mitsumi nande, daregai gata sekai no naka de, nato kizutsuke wo shoenai yo, bohedaite kuno koto. Let's bring it back. Oh, can you tell me the way the story ends? A monster in my heart, a ghost inside my chest. I'm broken down, the world around us surrounds my suffering. You smile and laugh at me, but you don't see a thing. How damaged and broken as I am, I'm trying not to breathe. Unraveled, I'm not unraveled by the truth I finally see. Unbreakable, unbreakable, unshakable, unshakable, unraveling since I found you. And now I am turning to dust in a world that's twisted. Don't come searching when I go missing. Close your eyes or just try to look away. Don't wanna hurt you. We live in a world someone else imagined. Ghost of what's left of me all but vanished. Remember my heart, how bright I used to shine. Oh, entangled in the loneliness, the memory of innocence. Mujakini warata kiyoga susata. Cannot move, I close my eyes. I try to breathe, I realize. Go can I, go can I, go can I, go can I, rival the world. I'm not what I was then. Don't touch the infection. Entwined we will both die, so stay away and stay alive. Go wasaru, go wasanai, kururu, kururanai, natawo kegasenai yo, yureta yukande sekai ni, dandan boku wa, skito wo te mienagnate, mitsukenai de boku no koto wo. Don't wanna hurt you. We live in a world someone else imagined. Ghost of what's left of me all but vanished. Remember my heart, how bright I used to shine. Oh, can you tell me? Oh, can you tell me? A monster in my heart, and now there's nothing left. This song always reminds me of the past. Because it's the story of the monster that I am. And honestly, Such a big story has an incredible amount of pain and confusion and, well, many things that happened in the story. I guess if that makes any sense. And I haven't yet addressed the elephant in the room. Hello, chat. Welcome. Welcome to this special stream. I hope you will enjoy the story that I'm about to tell you. And the show that will take place kind of during the middle of it. I will say that this story has multiple parts, and today will not be the end of it. For the end is not the end, is not the end, is not the end. Quoted by the amazing narrator of the Stanley Parable. And the end is just the beginning. For at least today, I will be telling you the story of how the end of me is my own beginning as a monster. And as SCP D4N13L. Shall we begin? I can get rid of that for now. And we need to get ourselves the drawing thingy. Or I think it would be best to draw you the stuff I'm talking about. It will probably be a bit easier to understand. Let's make sure that you can see it properly. So actually, you know what? I think I can do better. You don't really need to see the pens. I'm gonna put about that much. Probably crop it this way. We can probably crop it this way. There we go. Now you should be able to see the drawing just a little bit. Yeah, that should be good. All right then. So let's begin this with chapter 0. How about we text up here, keep kind of track of the chapter. Let's give it a nice, good font. Let's give it some good size so that you can properly see it. I need it to be bigger. Give it more. More. There we go. Chapter 0. Actually, can you even see it? I can't see it on the thing. Huh? Why is it invisible? What? Why is it? Huh? Wait, hold up, chat. Why is this being goofy? What? That doesn't make any sense. Why is it not capturing the drawing? What? I'm capturing the screen thingy. Oh god. Technical difficulties. Of course. How did I forget this is the SCP Daniel channel? Of course there would be technical difficulties. Nothing can go smoothly. This actually doesn't make any sense. Because this is just a canvas. It's not a different, but it's capturing the critter, but it's not capturing what's on the canvas, which is weird. Like, look, you can clearly see the application. That is good. I'm drawing on the thing. You can even see my cursor, I think, right? If I make it large enough, can you actually see my cursor on this? Yeah, here we go. You can even see my cursor on the thing. But it's just not capturing the drawing. What the hell? Um, Hold up. Do I need to capture specifically the canvas? No. No, I don't. Okay, hold up. What if I don't save this? Open this up again. Ignore this. Don't worry about it. Oh, you know what? It didn't even show the. Okay, now it's stuck on that thing, and you can also see my my desktop in the background. What the fuck? Greta, what have you done? I'm so confused. And now it doesn't want to go any. What? Nah, it's everything. I mean, I have nothing to hide there. So who cares? It's just video games. Uh, how do I fix this? Huh? Okay, what if I go into game capture? Is that gonna capture Krita maybe? It's the game capture! For some reason, screen capture doesn't want to capture the thing. I wasn't planning on using this, but what an incarnation. I'm so salty. Where the bruh? Where's fart reverb? Ignore everything that just happened. It didn't happen. It ruined everything. Goddamn technical difficulties. Yeah, at least now you can see shit. Uh, Allow me to to repeat the line and maybe return to the same momentum that I've had before with the story. The best way to tell you the story would be to also draw it for you. So we're gonna we're gonna draw. God damn it! Everything is broken and dead. Uh, it's okay. This is part of my life, by the way. The goddamn failure and technical difficulties. It's part of everything. Uh, I'll explain that later. So, chapter 0. Some stories would probably begin in chapter 1, where the hero was born, where the hero was uh, brought up in life, I guess, in like some kind of character school development or something like that. But in my case, it begins even earlier than birth. Because if I'm honest, the universe uh had an interesting plan. And by that, even the universe was confused in terms of, do I get to exist in the first place, or do I just nah? Do I just not get even born in the first place? So, uh, I guess the best way that I could describe this is, you have this here. This is the division between uh life and before life. You know what? Life before, right? So I'm basically over here, just kind of chilling, being ready, processed by uh none other than somebody in a big desk like Yenma from Dragon Ball. If I'm supposed to actually exist or not. He is like here, and he looks at me and says, "Oi, you're a soul. I have no idea what to do with it. Just go to the back of the line. I'm gonna talk with you like in a bit about stuff and things and whether you get to be born." Meanwhile, here in life, this translated to, you have this person who is gonna be parent one. Uh, you know what? I should probably do this. Parent. This is understandable in the slightest. Make it slightly smaller. Parent one, and then you have yourself parent two, who's for some reason gonna be skinnier because I changed the thing and I don't have the patience to change it again. Also, ignore the stick figures. I know I won't have the time to actually draw something uh that is actually detailed. Parent two. Uh, as basically what we're having here. So, in most lives, you have um you have your parent one and you have your parent two. They usually like each other very much, and one day they decide that they would want to start a family. In my case, um, technically they liked each other, but uh, due to some weird shenanigans with the universe, as I said, he told me to go to the back, and he also made them more confused about whether they actually want to do the birds and the bees in the first place. Um, and basically, after like some time, uh, the parents eventually decided that yeah, they want to do the birds and the bees. And then I got to the front of the line, and Yanma said, "Okay, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. Uh, just don't be born. If you're gonna be born, then a lot of stuff is gonna happen to you, and you're not gonna like it." And I'm like, "Ah, but why? Everybody else gets to be born." And yeah, that is true, but I've looked through your papers here, and this basically tells me most of everything that you're gonna go through your life, or at least the possibilities and branches of stuff that is going to happen in your life if you're gonna be born. And it doesn't look good. It just looks like suffering and and just don't be born, please. And I'm like, but why? I want to be born. Basically that kind of conversation went uh between me and Yanma, and that translated to, oh my god, parent 2 doesn't want to be my parent, apparently. Uh and that is because he already has a family way away somewhere in who knows where. He has a wife and he has some kids. I have no idea how many. I was never interested in that. Uh, and parent 1 was mostly confused and just also didn't know like the fuck, and kind of the was also very confused basically. Um and back in Death World, or before World, I finally managed uh to what's his face, to give a reason as to basically why I should be born. And I said, bruh, I bet you $100 that I will be able to change my life for the better if I was to get born. And he's like, okay, bet. And I was born. This is so silly. I ruined the momentum from the beginning, and I just went into silly territory. This is not how this is supposed to go. But anyway, uh, I will say the main getaway of this thing is my parents basically just uh kind of didn't want me, but eventually some cosmic power uh did get me to be born. And this is basically just chapter 0 because this is obviously very silly. So I'm okay with it, but just remember, uh parent 2 already has a family, so that means I am technically a bastard. Uh we'll get to that part probably a bit later. Parent 1 was questionable about it, but eventually uh decided that yes. And God, I have no idea what he was doing. I think he was doing crack at the time. because everything is so goddamn confused. Anyway, okay. Let's fucking erase all of this, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to save this at chapter 1. Because this is fucked up. This is not how this was meant to go. But I don't take back what I say. We're just gonna roll with it. Oh, also, I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but this is also just the pilot for all of this shenanigans. I will eventually make this way better. So being silly is the time for now. Like now is the time to just be a bit silly. Because the if I do remake this in all of its glory, it's definitely gonna be way more professional and better and everything. All right, so chapter 1. Um I was finally born on the 23rd of December in a year that is um sometime back in the past. Um I might eventually just say the actual year, but not today. But I was born sometime in the past, and I was born a happy child. This is actually something that was really good. I was born incredibly happy. I was pretty much not that skinny, but I was kind of baby skinny, and this is the belly, I guess. And I was born into the world and has been given the name Daniel due to all of the kerfuffle in chapter 0. Because God just really didn't know if he wanted me born, and my parents didn't know if they wanted me born. And eventually, due to reasons and things, God decided, you know what? YOLO. He's gonna be born. And yeah, I was born. Um, I lived somewhere for about a year or two with parent number 1. I'm just gonna say P1 because I don't have patience to write the whole parent thing. And parent number 2, this whole time went back to his original family, which is basically when parent number 1, in the beginning, found out that he even has a family, or rather, that he already has a family. And she didn't hate him. She she just kind of was confused, I guess. Uh, that's good enough. So, in order for maybe to be able to raise me by parent oneself, we both uh went and took a very badly drawn plane. This is a plane, don't worry about it. And we came to Israel, which hey, that's the best that I can do right now. So we came over here when I was about 2 years old, I think, if I remember correctly. And things were all good and dandy in the beginning, but because we came to a different country and because uh, parent one didn't have much any way of having uh, how do I explain it? Basically, they couldn't speak the local language just yet. They have had to learn the local language. They've had to make sure that they can still live and have money. So uh, E1, there we go. Uh, they were doing basically a lot of what adults do at the time, just work, uh, learn, and uh, and sleep and eat technically also. While me, I was here down at the very bottom, stuck in the void. And by that I mean I was just alone. Literally, well, not mostly alone, but without parent number one. Basically, I've only seen them maybe 5 minutes before I went to sleep, and the rest of the time, just random people took care of me. I don't even know who they were. Were they family? Were they caretakers? Were they some weird dude from Costco that got paid like $5 to be my babysitter? I hated all of them. They every single one of these was a fucked up person. I I literally hated all of them. But I will say there was one person in particular that I despise the most, which is probably one of the catalysts to the monster in the first place. I remember being home at some point and they just came like every day to take care of me. But actually, wait, let's do kind of a square here. Um, they told me that they have a surprise for me in. Hold up. In the bathroom. I'm just gonna call it bath. So, me, the stupid idiot that I was, or rather the gullible idiot that I was, I'm like, yay, surprise! Of course I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Me. And as soon as I went in, they locked the door shut. That this is the lock. And I just remember myself banging on the doors, or on the door, for probably hours. I don't know if it was actually hours, but I do remember banging on the door for at least an hour before my child self just got so teary and so tired. And I think I just even laid on the floor for a while, and then after I laid on the floor for a while, I continued banging, and this basically was the entire day because I only got out of there when parent one came home. And when parent one came home, I told her, "Hey, I was locked in the bathroom that whole time. Uh, please punish this obviously bad person, this motherfucker." Um, and parent one was like, "No, uh, you lie." Basically, just didn't believe me at all. And I'm like,
Bruh.
the fuck? And basically, since that day forward, my trust in Parent One already began to crumble. And that's when I started uh, preschool. Like, after this incident, I think I was probably 3 at the time of this. At around 4, I think I went to preschool because I was also a foreigner. I still had to like learn the language of Israel. I had to learn Hebrew to actually attend actual school. And so I went to preschool for about a year. I was able to actually study everything really good. Like I could probably add this to the drawing stuff. But I was able to draw to learn things honestly very well. Uh, uh, just kind of draw this as a big thing. Uh, pre preschool. Ignore my obvious grammar mistakes. So I was there. It was honestly really fun. I was able to get pretty much an average of between 90 points and 100 points on almost everything that I was doing in preschool. Even though I was a foreigner, even though the language itself was slightly hard for me, I did get some help from from the teacher if I didn't understand a word really, or had some kind of like question during the preschool classes. But I was pretty much able to be an excellent student. There was maybe 2 more um, that were about at the same level as me, but I was basically kind of top uh, of the preschool. But if I didn't get this, uh, P1 back at home, just kind of this is home for some reason. Like a block of preschool is inside of it. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Um, P1 would still be angry. Actually, that's not angry. If I didn't get perfect 100 scores, they would just be angry at me and punish me. Even if I got 90%, which is basically top of the class, they would still be goddamn angry with me. And at that point, the punishments were kind of light. I just had to uh I remember I had to chart down the multiplication table, like the uh literally every multiplication possible from uh 1 times 1 to 9 times 10 or 10 times 10, I think. I don't remember exactly the thing, but I've had to write down the whole thing, and sometimes not just once, sometimes I had to do that like 5 or 10 times, and at least to me it just seemed very unfair. Uh it was probably a way of like giving me an educational punishment, but I already knew the multiplication table pretty much by heart. Like I could at that time just recite it out of memory. And the first few times I was like, that I'm just gonna take the punishment. The other few times I just I was just so fed up with it. I I just kind of wrote it, but I didn't really commit the knowledge into memory. In fact, I think I even tried to purposefully do some things wrong just as a like rebellion method or something like that. And I think that in turn just uh gave me excuse me. I should probably have gotten me some water. Um and that in turn just made parent 1 also angry. And that was preschool. So that is basically chapter 1. Everything that had to do before uh before I attended actual school. Now we get to chapter 2. And this is where things take in a turn for even worse. Actually, you know what? I should have wrote like a subtitle for each chapter. Uh let's say that this would probably make the most sense. Uh why is it huh? Did I make it too big? What are you doing? Is this better? There we go. Let's just kind of make it slightly smaller so that it fits. There we go. So, chapter 2 is when, sadly, the big bad monster, oops, has finally decided to also be born. Um, so in the beginning of uh my first years of actual school, honestly, everything uh, everything was kind of fine. I did struggle a little bit because the material did get a little bit harder. Um, just kind of do this. Cool. I'm just gonna say G at the moment. Grades. Uh, 1, 2, 3. So I was there with a bunch of other children. The material basically, uh, at first grade, it was basic. It was just everything that I've already kind of learned in preschool. So that was honestly really easy. I even already knew the multiplication table. So that was really fine. Um, some of the language stuff is stuff that I've also already learned in preschool, so that was really good. Some of the other stuff was very weird to me, but I tried to learn it, and I I think I was okay with it because it was still like grade 1 level. So as long as I understood uh what the language basically says, I was able to actually learn it correctly, and basically everything was uh kind of the same as in preschool. I was still managing to get about uh 90 to, I think, 95. I don't think I ever got 100 ever again after preschool. Uh but if I did, the average was still about 90 to 95 uh during the first grade and during the second grade, and basically during these uh first 2 years, uh people already say that this is me. uh People already saw that I am basically a nerd. Now, kids fucking suck. If they think that you're a nerd, uh they will make fun of you and basically be horrible kids. So in the beginning it was kind of okay. In third year I was basically just labeled as the nerd by everybody else, and they just kind of said, haha, nerd, he learns a lot and is a nerd. And that was kind of the year 3 where they just kind of started bullying me, started just being a little bit mean, not uh ooh, bully. There we go. A little bit mean, and just kind of started to call me names and verbally bully me at the very least. The teachers just thought that it was a funny joke. I'm just gonna label this one as T for teacher. I didn't pay that much attention to it. Then, uh, back at home, no, uh, home, I was at that point already all alone. Uh, P1 was mostly uh, at work somewhere, just way over there. Me was just alone at home, uh, mostly starving because I didn't I didn't know how to make food. I at best just ate bread out of the refrigerator if we even had any bread in the refrigerator, and or maybe stuff that might have been made the night before when uh, E1 was still uh, at home or stuff. And school was basically just uh, bullies, teachers who don't help me with shit, and me who is just trying his honest best to try to improve his own grades because he knows that if he doesn't improve his grades, P1 is going to punish him. So that was basically grades 1 through 3. And actually, I will probably say that specific specifically during wait, no, I think it was during grade 4, which is what I wanted to say now. So, grade 4 came around, and this is usually when we start also learning more advanced stuff and more languages like English and other sort of things. And actually, I think some of grade 3 was also in this part, but this is where the bullying at school got way worse. It actually got into physical confrontations and uh, way worse verbal confrontations with the bullies. And I basically remember myself just being beat up a lot. Uh, I would return home with bruises pretty much uh, all over my body. And when I tried to tell that to P1, of course they didn't believe me. Like with that person who locked me in the bathroom. So I completely lost confidence in turning to anybody because if my own blood won't help me, who the hell else is going to? And even the teachers were like, "It's just friendly gaming. You're just playing around. Of course you're gonna get hurt. You're a kid. You're still developing and everything." And in turn, all of this has already began to build my own. Hold up. Uh, my own worst nightmare, which will probably uh let's do it this way. That visible. That's good enough. So, uh, I know you can't see it. It's intentional. Don't worry about it. So this is what started building uh my own monster slash insanity deep inside of me. And basically, this would become a recurring theme for the next uh, years of my school, all the way until grade 6. So basically, from about grade 3.5 or so, and until grade 6, I would get bullied, I would get beat up, I would return home, no one would help me, I would just cry in the corner, or rather in my bed, and then rinse and repeat. The only thing that did help me somewhat was my own computer that we've had at home. I remember playing a lot of video games on it. I would remember it's supposed to be big because computers were quite blocky back then. It was this very old uh computer that you've had like floppy disks and all that sort of stuff. And I remember mostly playing, I think, uh Rayman, Doom, Grand Theft Auto, and just a bunch of random games that uh this computer had because I didn't buy it from the store, I think, or rather my parent didn't buy it from the store. They bought it from either one of the neighbors or somehow used because somebody offered them like this thing because it also had already games in it, and I think they even like gave some of like a Grand Theft Auto, for example, uh, as an additional game and everything else. Now you understand how I learned all the Rayman script. Yeah, I I really liked Rayman at the time. I played a lot of Rayman 1 and Rayman 2 during this time. Then when Rayman 3 came around, which I think was probably around 6th grade, I would assume, if I remember correctly. Maybe earlier. But I also played the crap out of Rayman 3 because it was incredibly fun for me. I also used to play a bunch of browser games, like Balloons Tower Defense, or just the old school Balloons Monkey, where you have to kind of solve puzzles and shoot balloons. I remember I played The Last Stand. I played a lot of Flash games. Uh, I played some other kind of tower defense where I think it's Age of Tower Defense or something like that. You basically have this kind of game where you go through the ages, Stone Age, Iron Age, etc., until you reach, I think, Sci-Fi Age, and you basically have your own base, and you have the enemy base, and you kind of need to develop your own uh, science and things in order to protect your base while also attacking the enemy base. I remember there was a sort of world conquest kind of game. I don't remember. It's I literally don't remember the names of most of these, but I remember there was some kind of world conquest where you've had your own type of army, kind of thing, and you've had to spawn them on like a grid, and they would march forward, also battling like uh armies from or enemies from the other side, and basically whoever got more soldiers across the other's finish line got a point, and whoever got more points uh kind of claimed the land. I don't remember exactly what that game is called. But basically, yeah.
the golden era of Flash games, and that was basically uh me throughout that kind of time, and also around that time is when YouTube has just launched. So I don't remember exactly. It was in 2006. So it's somewhere along these things, but I still didn't access that site because I just didn't know it exists until I think the end of grade 6 or around grade 6. But basically this was mostly my life, but due to uh, the bullying and everything, I ended up focusing more on the things that actually made me happy, which is the games that I had on my computer, and in turn, that made my own grades slowly drop from the average of 95 to about uh I have no idea why I drawn that 8 like that, to about 80 to 90, which in turn made the punishments back at home worse. I sometimes couldn't actually play the games that were at the time making me happiest. Uh, there was some, I will say, sadly, there was some physical abuse that I incredibly hated, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Which in turn got my grades even lower because I was just severely confused and severely depressed because of all of that, which in turn made this thing grow bit by bit. And it basically kept growing for almost an entire year pretty steadily, just growing and growing. And I think during fifth year, if I remember correctly, there was a there was a moment in school, or rather a certain day in school, where I just remember I was, I think, sitting on a bench all alone. Uh, Probably draw this here. Uh, this is bench. This is me, just kind of sitting, minding my own business, and the bullies just came to harass me on on that day, and I'm like, leave me alone, fuck all y'all, stop, stop doing things, and they kind of started beating me up again. So I ended up running, uh, running away from there because I wanted to try to get to a safer place. Maybe they would leave me alone. Maybe maybe I would just be able to find somewhere safe. And there was this one uh actually, you know what? I enjoy it this way. There was this kind of one fenced up area that was uh adjacent to the school that had basically this really high fence that kids usually are unable to climb. But me in my child mind, I thought, hey, look, a fence. There's no way that they can get past it. If I can just get to the other side, I should be safe. So I went, I climbed, and I was able to get behind the fence. This is me inside of there, and the kids. One of them was trying to climb, but he was unable to. And the one thing that they decided was to stand outside. Just kind of draw them in a different kind of color. That's clear. And throw rocks at me. Because they obviously couldn't reach me, but the fence was still big enough so that small objects could potentially fit through the fence if you throw them. So, there I was, fenced up, with nowhere else to go because the only way out of that was through the fence. The rest of it was just brick wall. Uh, so I basically just trapped myself in a cage, and I was returned to monkey, basically, at that point, because they kind of treated me like a monkey in a cage, just throwing rocks and sticks and basically anything else that they found around on the ground. And apparently, this fence was actually not that strong, which is going to be important in a second, because uh, one of these kids actually was able to hit me in the face with one of the rocks. And as you can probably imagine, a rock in your face hurts like hell. I remember it hit me about 2 millimeters from my left eye. And at the moment, I just kind of, I think, fell down because of the pain, uh, because of being hit. And I don't exactly remember everything that went through. But that is when Mr. Monster Person has finally grown enough that he was basically beyond his containment. And let's just kind of draw you with a purple thing. He basically kind of came to me inside of my head and was like, why are you not fighting back? And that was basically the first moment where I guess my fight or flight response has switched to, instead of just not confronting the problem, into actually confronting the problem. So for the first time ever, I stood up. I literally just smashed head first, or not head first, but shoulder first into the fence. It knocked all of it was knocked on all of the kids that were right in front of me, and they were all under the fence. Look, this them? No. Hey, get over here, suckers. They were basically all under the fence. And at that point, the only thing that I could think was jump. And I just jumped on the fence while they were all under there. And about a few minutes after, a teacher kind of came to the area and saw all of this happening and basically blamed me for uh for attacking the four kids, not knowing that I was basically just defending myself. And honestly, I will say this was too much. This was an overreaction on my part, but at the time, I was just so fed up with everything that I only saw blood in my eyes. And only after the teacher came, I realized, oh my god, I am actually seeing blood in my eyes because of the stone that hit me in the face. Because there was literally just blood running down the left side of my face. Because they opened up my forehead with that rock that hit me in the face. And I guess just the combination of both that pain and the emotional pain and everything else just kind of reached the boiling point of no return, and everything just kind of got unleashed at the same time. And honestly, this is where the story of the monster pretty much begins. I won't say that this is good. Honestly, I hate myself for doing this. I I should have probably handled it in a different way. I should have probably uh I don't know, done something else, but the rage of a child who's been abused for basically years at that point. Uh at least in my case was just got too big, right? I I got to a point where it was too much for me to handle, and sadly I broke. After that, the monster actually returned back into containment because it felt uh kind of relieved. It felt that it has gotten its, and not revenge, I would say, but uh it received an opportunity to let out some rage. He tasted the blood. I'm getting to that. But that what basically gave him a taste of blood at that point. And any other time from that point forward, when I remember myself being pushed or bullied or anything else, I would already be in the like instantly defensive mode, basically. So if any of the bullies came to me, I would already like glare at them and basically tell them if they approach me in any sort of way, I will attack them. Like the same way that I have done before, just because I was so fed up with everything. And that one time that I was able to protect myself, basically, uh, was the only way that I knew how to protect myself against the bullies. So it kind of developed into this uh technically insanity, technically just quiet kid with extreme bursts of emotion, if that makes any sense. Because other than that, I was just basically the quiet kid. Um and only when I was in danger uh was I turning into a monster, which at the time I didn't really realize that it's something that's not okay, basically. But this was a catalyst to something that could have happened if I eventually didn't realize that I was basically doing bad stuff and this is not how things are supposed to be. So this is chapter 2. Now then, before we begin chapter 3, there is another kind of elephant in the room that I would like to address. But for that, I need to find the thingy and also drink some water. Uh, do I still have it? Is an even bigger question. Uh, where is it? Where is it? I just saw it from the corner of my eye. Come on, I just saw it. Where is it? There we go. So, if some of you might remember, this art that I have made quite a while ago. This was the concept art for basically the story of the monster, my own story, and the one thing that basically kept me from actually turning into a full-fledged monster. And this is one of the more important parts, I guess, this story. So I'm just gonna have you be here for now so that I'm able to talk about this better. We're gonna 2.5. Chapter 2.5 is about the dream. So basically, around this time, as I said, one of the things that gave me a lot of happiness, uh, a lot of just hope, or not hope. It just gave me a lot of happiness in my life. Was my computer games and um and some of the internet. But I already kind of questioned the reason of why the hell am I even alive, if that makes any sense. Now, before I talk about any more of this, I will say I never had any unaliving thoughts. I am not in any way unalivable. I don't think I am, at least. And even this day, I never have any of those kind of thoughts. But I do have the thoughts of what would have happened if uh, my life ended at some point due to some accident or due to unaliving thoughts, uh, or thoughts about just what the hell could I do to keep going forward. And this is one of the reasons that I will never have any unaliving thoughts. At least I hope. But basically, uh, during the time that the monster started developing, I began having these dreams, which I honestly, uh, you know what? I will do it this way because this will be important later. Uh, I basically just remember being somewhere, and I have no idea where, but I was. I just remember talking to somebody in the dream. I don't know who they were. I don't know what their name is whatsoever. I barely even know what they look like. The art here just has a random uh kind of anime person that I found, but it I have no idea if this is what the dream person even looks like. The best depiction is this kind of stick figure just because I don't really exactly know what they look like. I do remember that they have kind of not really long hair, but I'm gonna say kind of medium sort of hair that is kind of until the thing. Um, they do have pretty much kind of similar to what this girl looks like, but not exactly. They do have kind of like bananas around their thing, and I remember them having a cowlick, I think, and basically some kind of girl person that I just ended up dreaming about and talking to, and we were honestly just having a lot of fun. We were, uh, I honestly don't remember what we were talking about, but we were just talking, chilling, having just fun, I guess. That's the best that I can describe it. And this is where I will sing the next song for today because this is probably one of my strongest reasons for being who I am. And also, it has great importance to the story of the monster that I will basically tell. So, let's go back to the singing. Hello again, chat. The second song for today is another song that I'm sure you've heard me sing before. And probably a lot of these are going to be songs that you've heard me sing before. But this is a song that also describes me uh, as the person I am and kind of want to be, I guess. So here we go. I have often dreamed of a far off place where a hero's welcome would be waiting for me, where the crowds would cheer when they see my face,
and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Down an unknown road to embrace my fate. Though that road may wander, it will lead me to you. And a billion years would be worth the wait. It might take many lifetimes, but somehow I'll see it through. And I won't look back. I can go the distance, and I'll stay on track. No, I won't accept defeat. It's an uphill slope, but I won't lose hope. When I go the distance and my journey is complete. But to look beyond the glory is the hardest part. For a hero's strength is measured by his heart. Oh, like a shooting star, I will go the distance. I will search the world. I will face its harms. I don't care how far. I can go the distance till I find my hero's welcome waiting in her arms. I will search the world. I will face its harms till I find my hero's welcome waiting in your arms.
And that is basically the story of the dream. Also, why isn't it showing up? There we go. And this part will be important for later, so do keep it in mind. I wonder who it is from the dream. I have no idea. I honestly just have no goddamn clue. Even Actually, no. I'm gonna keep this for later because this is basically gonna be um, part of chapter 3 now. So that can go away for now. Chapter 3 is, I'm gonna call it missed opportunity. Uh, you know what? I'm just gonna call it missed op. But it's supposed to be missed opportunity. This is where uh, I finally basically got some kind of uh, redemption, some kind of, or not redemption, some kind of saving grace. Although at the time I was still very hurt and still had this whole thing going on. And it was basically at the end of like the last half year of the sixth grade where hold up to draw this here, where I finally got some help from CPS. Woo! The people who should have been there way sooner. Um, I was finally sent to like a, therapist person. I honestly don't know who they were because I just didn't trust them at all at the time. And this uh, therapist person tried to take care of little me, who was just extremely hurt and uh, probably also just crying a lot at that point. I'm gonna say I honestly don't remember. I just remember myself sleeping every time that I went into this place. Uh, just because I've had nothing better to do. And I do think that I talked a few times to this person, but the only thing that I could say, I hate P1, I hate school, basically just hate everything, and just to leave me alone. And eventually, CPS decided, okay, that environment that you've been through is horrible, and we're gonna send you to somewhere better, which will hopefully help you. I'm gonna draw here real quick. Which was Foster House. Um, Now this place honestly was amazing. I at the beginning was still too hurt to realize how much better this place is than my own life, and I will explain what I was doing there in a minute. And then I was also at that time beginning uh, grades 6. This G. They both look like G. Okay, this is a 6. 6 through 12. Oh, 6th through 12th of high school. Uh, so basically, I was sent to this foster home away from my original family, away from everything that was horrible in the past. I basically got a new opportunity to live, to fix myself, to basically become a happy person and maybe actually be happy. But I was so hurt at that point that I still didn't trust basically anyone. I got to live with uh 11, I think it was. I think we were a total of 12 kids in there. But I got to live with a total of 11 more kids of various ages. They weren't all the same age as me. Some of them were already finishing high school, some of them were just starting uh, their first grade school, and then there was also the two uh, honestly awesome foster parents that were there uh, that took care of all of these kids, including me. And this place was honestly an incredible influence on me. Even though it took them 6 years to change me in the very slight way that they were able to change me. This is one of the reasons. Uh, this is one of the reasons that I also don't have any bad thoughts, any weird thoughts of, I guess, unaliving and everything. And like they had a good influence on on the monster on the thing here. They basically increased the caged area to be kind of twice as strong, which eventually just gave me more control over this to be able to fix my own self. Um, but I was still very damaged. This thing could not go away. Like it's there. It's just in containment forever to stay there until it breaks containment again, basically. And there were moments where it almost was able to break containment before the family was able to kind of strengthen this. It was still just one thing. Um, but oops, just gonna redraw that. Actually, I'm just gonna in here. That is a better thing. Um, there were moments, especially in like the sixth grade, the first year of high school, where I was still basically just hurt and recovering and everything. And there were moments where I still had this fight or flight response because it was basically still kids who have just finished uh, grade school, and some of them were kind of mean. But they weren't mean in the same way that the bullies were mean. They were actually just mean in a silly kind of way where uh, you're just being a bro, you're just being kind of like uh uh how would I describe it the best? Uh, they were basically physically affirmative. So if somebody were to do something good, they would give them like a small punch on the shoulder, like, "Hey, bro, good, you won the game for us." Punch on the shoulder, or "You did good, so I'm gonna like rub your head uh in kind of like a strong way, or not a strong way, where you kind of tuck the head into your, like, your armpit, and just rub it a little bit as a bro kind of thing. They were basically doing that kind of stuff. And for me, I was just so still hurt at that point from actual bullies that I did not see any of that as physical, or as uh as positive feedback. I just saw that as, oh my god, they're gonna hurt me again. And I don't remember if there was anything necessarily bad at the time, but I do remember there was one time when somebody just tried to, like, grab me, and I just tried to kind of avoid them. But at some point, uh, the monster thing kind of took control, and I just pushed them away from me. And I think we were inside of the class at the time, and very close to the wall. So I basically just pushed them towards the wall. And I think I pushed them just slightly too hard, because they've hit their head and had uh like they basically just hurt their head a little bit on the back. But they were physically hurt, and it got into, like, a small physical confrontation. But there were other people nearby. There was, I think, also just a teacher came by, like, very quickly, and diffused the situation. And I do remember at that time that I, for the first time, realized that I just did something that I wasn't supposed to do. Like, that they were just trying to be my friend. They were just trying to give me positive feedback, or I don't know, something that I did. I don't even remember what it was. Um, but I've hurt somebody that I wasn't supposed to hurt, because they weren't even an enemy. Like, and that kind of gave me a tick in my head that, okay, maybe there isn't a need for me to be as protective, and all that sort of stuff. And I do remember apologizing to that person. uh we didn't become friends or anything because of this, also because I still just didn't trust people enough to actually be actual friends with them. But I did apologize to that person. I did, I think, maybe just talk to them a couple of times, but mostly I was still just by myself, trying to figure out what the fuck am I doing, because I was finally kind of realizing that I'm at a better place, that this is probably an opportunity for me to do something to improve myself, to do better, because I already understood the morality and what the future would hold if I were to not study, if I were to just be quote unquote insane. I'm gonna say that. So basically, just give in to the monster and just do whatever the monster wants me to do. And that was basically my entire life of grade 6 through 12. Me trying to do things. I've tried to restudy everything that I've missed in grades 3 to 6, which was a lot. Like, a lot. I've missed a lot of history lessons. I've missed a lot of uh math lessons. At that point, my when I got to high school, my grades were dropped from 80 to 90 to 60. Actually, I'm just going to say 60 minus. I don't remember myself receiving much more than 60, except for in English. English was still the one thing that I really, really liked in terms of a language, mostly because I was watching a lot of YouTube at this point, and I was playing a lot of video games, and I really wanted to know like what what the games are talking about, what it does. So English, I was still able to keep myself at about 90 kind of average in terms of scores. And during the last 3 years of high school, I also tried to learn some computer science because computers is basically the only thing that I knew, the only thing that I kind of had fun with. And we had this uh, JavaScript and C# teacher who was willing to help me to try and learn the basics. Uh, wait, what? Kilo? Spend your whole life before always getting hurt by other people. You won't even be able to trust anyone. You already went a long way from that scared little kid. I have. I honestly have. Also, I do apologize if you hear me holding back tears because this this is honestly this is something that I actually haven't told anyone but two people. And I've only told those two people basically over the last 2 months. So literally the no, a little bit more than 2 months. Uh, maybe half a year. No, 2 months. No, 2 months. About 2 months, maybe three. I don't remember. My memory sucks. You're holding your tears as well. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jed, for caring. This actually means a lot to me. Um, so, hold up, where was I? So, this was basically like the only thing that I got actual good scores in, the English stuff. I tried to study computer science. I think I've studied it for about 1 year, and I don't remember what scores I got, but I didn't get too good of scores. I think I got around 70 when it comes to computer science. And I do remember the teacher just being like, uh if this is your scores right now, you're gonna not succeed during the next year because the stuff is gonna get much harder. And at that point, because I just didn't really believe in other people, but I also just didn't believe in myself that much. I just kind of accepted it for for what it is. Like if somebody told me that I'm not going to succeed, I I didn't even try to convince myself that I should keep trying, that I should uh basically try to put in effort into it. And I remember after that like 1 year that I studied the computer science, I stopped and tried to do something else. I studied some art. Uh, actually, this is CS, computer science. I tried to study some art because I did like to read manga, and I did doodle a little bit in just the classes that I wasn't able to study anything like history and Bible class, which were just goddamn boring. Um, so I basically tried to study some art. I tried to study some music. We had a music teacher. That is how I at first began playing uh a little bit of piano and also the drums a little bit. Uh I tried to study some Spanish and Arabic because I already really liked English. Oh wait, also I realized that I wrote this. This is Is this? Oh, this is English. There we go. I already really liked English, so I thought to myself, hey, maybe I'll try to study another language. So I tried to study Spanish and Arabic because uh, they were teaching that in our school. But basically, all of these, just the teachers said, you're not gonna succeed. Like the teachers didn't believe in me, so I didn't believe in myself, and I was doing pretty well otherwise. I mean, 70 is not amazing, I guess, but it's an average score. Like if 50 is basically a failure and 100 is success, this is the middle ground. I should have kept just going with the best that I could and just kept getting an average of 70 points, and maybe I would have had a better a better life at this point if I were to pursue any of this. But as soon as other people just didn't believe in me, I stopped believing in myself. It is. I do understand that now, but back then I was just still basically in shock, basically just incredibly confused about everything, and I kind of just gave up on most of it. But luckily, the foster family was able to at least make me a little bit happy, a little bit uh feel a little bit better. And I think I've said this yesterday during the ending of the stream, but I only remember two good birthdays from my entire life. Literally everything else, I either every other year I either didn't have a birthday because there was nobody to celebrate. It was just me eating a cupcake before I went to bed, and just kind of that was it, or just no birthday at all. Like, didn't happen. And the one birthday that I definitely remember was in the foster home. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I do remember gathering around the table. They actually like brought me cake. All the kids wished me unique happy birthdays. The parents wished me a unique happy birthday. This basically kind of happened every year in the foster home, but I mostly also just because of the shock didn't notice the first birthdays because I'm like, they're probably just doing this for self gain or doing it just because I have a birthday and not actually doing this because they're good people or trying to make me happy. But the one birthday that I did remember, which I think was the fourth year in there, uh, was when they were all gathered around the table. They brought me my favorite cake. They got me each my favorite, or not my favorite, but a favorite type of thing that I liked. So I think one of them gave me a manga book. Another one gave me a video game, if I remember correctly. Somebody else gave me um like kind of earphones so that I can uh listen to stuff in my computer or in my phone because at the time I finally had my own phone. Um I what was the other stuff? I think one of them gave me a drawing, another one gave me a plushie, which actually I lost that plushie. I really wish I still had it, but sadly I lost it. Um and I don't think I have any of the other things just because they already broke or got lost. Um which honestly I suck for that. But that was basically kind of that birthday. And that is basically the thing that built the extra layer of protection from the monster. But as I said, all of this still existed. It was untreated. It was just there in containment the whole time. And that's basically the end of chapter 3 for now. And I can probably summarize uh this chapter with actually two songs, because one part of it is just me kind of wishing for hope and wishing for things to be better, while also the other thing is the um how do I explain it? Well, I'll just sing the songs because it's probably the best thing. Let me look up the lyrics. So you get two songs this time. Uh, there we go. And Elo, you actually know this song because you've listened to one of my karaoke's, and I said that this would be part of the thing. So maybe you remember it. But god damn it, my throat. Okay. This one is called Lifeline. Oh, actually, I need to switch into the karaoke one. There we go. It's Lifeline by 1,000 Foot Crunch. Okay, we have the lyrics. I'm gonna drink some more water before I sing. And here we go. Cut me like those words you throw, console me when you want control, roll me in those lives you've told, but I won't play these games no more. And there's this part that I honestly never knew how to sing. I'm feeling like just letting go. It's taking my mind, is shaking your mind. It's taking everything I know. Don't run and hide, stand up inside. The wheels keep burning. I'm about ready to blow. When I get angry, I feel weak. And hear these voices in my head telling me to fall beneath, 'cause they'll make everything okay. How did I get here? Everything's unclear. I never meant to cause you pain. Give me a reason I can believe in. I need it all this time. Send me a lifeline. Do do do.
Wave if it makes you look good. Smile when you feel like you should. It's hard not to treat this like I could. Heaven help me, it's overwhelming. Shaking your mind. It's taking everything I know. Don't run and hide. Stand up inside. The wheels keep burning. I'm about ready to blow. When I get angry, I feel weak and hear these voices in my head telling me to fall beneath, 'cause they'll make everything okay. How did I get here? Everything's unclear. I never meant to cause you pain. Give me a reason I can believe in. I need it all this time. Send me a lifeline. And that's basically the song. This is probably the best depiction of just all the pain and the confusion and me, I guess, just not really taking the opportunity uh, that I should have had. And the next one is uh the next one is a Disney song, which I'm actually gonna try and sing this in 3 languages. So we're gonna sing it once for every language that I like. Or not like, but uh, once for actually maybe even 4. I'll try to sing it in 4 languages if I can. But let's start with English. Flower, gleam and glow. Let your powers shine. Make the clock reverse and bring what once was mine. Heal what has been hurt. Change the fate's design. Save what has been lost. Bring back once was mine. What once was mine. That is the English version. I think I remember the Russian version. Let me just look up the lyrics just in case. Okay, fine. Okay, so the Russian version is Солнце яркий луч, путь найти во мгле. Я прошу верни, что так желанно мне. Раны исцели, жизнь на свет пролей. Я прошу верни, что так желанно мне, желанно мне. This is the Russian version. I also made sure to look up the Hebrew version. שמע תפילותיי, עצור את השעון, ושמור את עלמי, לא אדע מכאוב, פרח שמור עלי, דום שאין בלתו, במשעולי חיי, האר ימי. And the last one. Come on. Lower. Lower. This is not the lyrics. This is the English lyrics. I need the other one. Does it maybe exist here? Okay, I don't know how to actually sing this version, but this is the Japanese lyrics of this one. I'm guessing it's Now, you know what? I'm just gonna read it because I don't know how to sing the Japanese version. It's Hana wa kira miku maho no hana toki wo modase kako ni modase kizu wa oyase umeni no kawa sakanabore yomi gaera sero kako no yome. Honestly don't know how to how to sing this version. I should have probably studied it. I also definitely read that wrong. But yeah, those are basically kind of the two songs that sum up chapter 3. The pain and the wishes of basically me to somehow make things better, even though basically I didn't trust the outside at all. Anyway, next. Now, this part might be weird because I can't really say a lot about it for obvious reasons. So, this is where the story is gonna go into the realm of fantasy. And this probably will also build up. The other thing that I have that we're gonna do with the story, but I'm gonna keep that a secret for now. And let's just get rid of all of this that we don't need. Monster can stay right there. He's gonna accompany us. Chapter
4. This is gonna be weird. Bear with it. Don't worry about it. So, uh, as maybe some of you know, people here in Israel, when they reach a certain age, they need to do something with their lives, and that is to become a hold up, a knight. Uh, I- I'm just gonna give him a helmet. Uh, he has like a feather on top of the helmet. There we go. Uh, so basically, for about 3 years or so, I had to go to learn how to be a knight to protect the king and queen. Um, this is also just the silly part because this is the best way that I can describe all of this. Um, I actually saw this as another opportunity to basically improve myself and also try to. Will this stream be unarchived? I hope not. This is why I'm singing everything a cappella because well, I want the stream to remain live or remain on my channel for as long as I can have it. Um, Maybe in the future because I do want to make this honestly more professional and better. I do have a plan about that, which I will talk about during my birthday stream, which is the next stream. Which also, by the way, we are running out of time. Um, but I do want to have this whole thing be slightly more professional for uh the surprise thingy, or not surprise thingy, but for the thing that we're gonna talk about. So eventually, this might get unarchived, but other than that, uh, it's basically gonna stay up. So anyway, uh, I was sent to be a knight to protect the king and queen, and I basically just saw this as an opportunity to improve myself, to work on my own uh monster thing, to strengthen uh this this thing so that it is even less likely to breach containment. And I was able to also just slightly uh deal with it because I finally got some help. Although it wasn't from anybody, it was mostly from myself because I basically understood that if no one else is going to help me, I'm the only one who can help me. So I was able to slightly decrease this. I was able to build additional walls around it, and everything became uh way better until there was one day in uh during the knighthood where I sadly uh lost somebody. I honestly have no idea who this was. Even at the time, I didn't know the person really because he wasn't from my own I guess, n- uh, night group. I don't know what to call it. This analogy doesn't really work in terms of this thing, but uh, we lost this one person, and I just question myself if anything that I've done at that point had made any impact on me, which actually deleted uh, one of the things because I basically just started questioning myself again whether I was able to improve myself in the first place and whether anything that I've done specifically in knighthood and other than that was it any sort of good and any sort of anything. And that is basically pretty much all that I can say about this. I basically kind of just remained confused. I didn't know what to do because I also understood that once knighthood is over, I would have uh to become a normal person again. And I just didn't know what I was going to do about that. I planned to go study in a university, but that honestly failed because of COVID, because of my own inability to focus on studying, because of financial situations, and this just made me question myself even more. Like, why am I putting in effort? I know I'm gonna fail, or rather, uh, all that sort of stuff. Um, I also basically just got really I'm just gonna do it like this. Also just really depressed uh during just normal work because I've also started having like an actual side job which became my full job, which I'm still doing at this point. Um I basically got depressed from work because people over there started just unappreciating me and unappreciating my work. I transferred like 4 places because I refused to give up, and I still refuse to give up, and I still get underappreciated when it comes to work. But I'm not gonna touch that subject. Um, and this is basically knighthood and everything else. And the one thing that I always knew and I've always wanted to do was what we are currently doing to be able to one day, first of all, just have fun, be actually happy, uh, play, or rather, do the stuff that I know I like doing, which is playing video games, telling stories, or rather, uh, making stories, because I did used to kind of uh, make up cool things and cool stories. And around this time is where I will say now the monster story and my own story are completely splitting apart. So this from this point forward is solely gonna be the monster story, but I will say that basically this is my own kind of situation right now where I'm just kind of weird, weirdly, weirdly confused between the stuff that I want to do, the stuff that I have to do, uh, and just everything else. But YouTube is one of the things that also gave me an incredible amount of happiness over the past uh, few years after I finished the knighthood thing. And eventually, when I found out about Idol Corp, so Lily, Nikki, Kata, everyone from there, I decided to maybe try and do the same thing. And this is why I'm here today as uh, what you see in front of you. And as I said, from this point forward, it's all monster story. So, uh, D4N13L basically kept doing all of this. He worked in his own work. He tried to do things on YouTube, although uh, most of it just didn't really succeed. He just kind of flopped everything that had to do with that. In terms of work, it also got kerfuckled. It also just uh, became something that is uh, horrible and really kind of hard to live through. And throughout everything, the defenses and everything kind of broke down and returned back to being a single line of containment for the monster, which allowed the monster to once again directly speak to the Daniel. And at that point, I guess we can also just switch to not switch to because it's not a different chapter really, but oops. Uh, let's move you over here real quick, and then I'm gonna do this. Like so. And then the me. Like so. um, they basically kept having fights and conversations in between themselves about everything that they should do. The monster kept being the anxiety and the mm, fuel to doubt in uh Daniel's mind. Well, Daniel kept just trying to shine as bright as he possibly could. Although that shine, uh, that shine was kind of bright, and he did basically tried his best to do everything that he possibly could. It eventually also disappeared over the years, and the only thing that remained was just bleh and boring Daniel. And this is the point where I will also mention that throughout this whole time, throughout the story, throughout all of the years, the one thing that uh, kept him going, as I said, was the dream of one day meeting that dream person who might eventually make life way better for him and finally make him actually be happy, which he at that point just isn't. But also, he had a wish formulating this whole time in his mind. And together with both of these things, he kept on living. He kept on just doing the best that he could until, or let's just say it like this, for 20, for 30, for 50, or maybe even 70 years, or maybe even more. But basically, no matter how hard he tried, he was never able to find the dream. And the only thing that remained that could possibly make him achieve the dream was his wish. And basically, one day, when he eventually reached the age where fate decided that he was no longer supposed to be among the living for whatever reason, he was lying on his deathbed, remembering everything that he went through, talking about every point to himself, to the monster, and basically recapping the life. Kind of what we are doing, kind of what we're doing here right now. But he finally spoke from his deepest part of his heart and formulated a wish. This wish is honestly the most selfish thing that a human could possibly ever wish for. It's the most greedy a human could possibly ever wish for. It's the most selfless somebody could ever wish for. What are the other sins? Hold up. It's gonna give me the anime, isn't it? Uh, yeah, there we go. Now I have them all. It's the most selfish. It's the most greedy. The most selfless somebody could have ever wished for. It's the most envious something everybody could ever wish for. It's the most wrathful somebody could ever wish for. Uh, and the most slothful. This is 6. I'm missing one. Oh, and the most prideful somebody could ever wish for. This wish has been formulating for Daniel throughout his whole life. Every good thing, every bad thing that happened to him or to anybody else around him in his life. And not just people that he knew, also people that he didn't know throughout history, throughout time, throughout existence itself, and throughout non existence, which basically is science fiction and every kind of existent, non existent existence that is. He formulated this wish. With his last breath, he screamed it into the skies. And then he finally lost his one life, the one that he got way back in chapter 0 from that one person who was who was living, or who was the judge of life. But this wish was so strong. This wish was so powerful that it actually resulted in the breakage of time and space and hold up, where is it? I need to get this. I completely forgot to get this. Oh my god, I am stupid. Hold up, chat. Hold up. There we go. Please don't auto start. Can I even show it here? Oh, got it. Flip. Okay. You didn't see nothing. Shut up. Anyway, on his last breath, on his death, he screamed a wish into the sky. And instead of dying, he broke space and time. And from that breakage, he was reborn in a different world where he could finally get his wish granted. And that is chapter 0 of what I'm going to pretty much announce right now. I was supposed to also have a logo for it, but uh somebody scammed me, which slightly sucks. So I am here to announce that throughout this next year, I will be trying my best. I really hope that it's something that we're gonna be able to do. But we're gonna work on the story of the monster, and we're gonna launch what I called Project Project New Game Plus. And that is what we're gonna do today. And also, an amazing special thanks to Tomochu for making that animation that you just saw. This was made uh, by Tomochu Yokai. If you've never heard of her, uh, please, please go say, "Wow, this is amazing," because this is honestly amazing. I absolutely love everything about this. I love it. I honestly wish I was able to do so much more with this. I actually planned for this to be a much better stream, a much better reveal, but apparently doing projects on your own is very hard. So that is basically what we have for now. It went well. I'm glad that you like it. And I'll probably talk about this more during the birthday stream because we need to just switch to that now. But we're gonna make a goal list that has to do with this project and with the channel and basically everything that I want to work on during this next year that we're gonna have. I really hope I really hope that by next year's birthday, I'm gonna have uh at least something to show in terms of the project. Even if it's just remaking this whole stream, but better, I hope that I can at least do that. And this is basically the one thing that we're gonna dedicate this channel to. Because if I'm honest, me and the monster are not that far apart. I mean, you've basically seen this throughout the story itself. We are very similar. And honestly, even just the story of the monster itself, that is of the future basically, potentially could be me. Who knows? I honestly have the same wish. I honestly have the same dream as he is. So there's no reason for it to not happen. But I won't spoil any more than that about the lore and the story. I tried not to spoil uh as much as I could because the rest of it is supposed to basically be the lore and the story of the Project New Game Plus. I would love to make it happen. Anyway, so that is it for the stream today, or at least for this one. Um, I'm gonna just immediately switch to the birthday stream, to the birthday party. So hold on to your tootsies. Actually, you know what? I can't redirect you there, sadly, but I can give you the link to the chat of the next one. But just wait for me in the next stream. I will be right there. I think this is the correct link. Yeah, we have about 15 minutes, so I will try to clear my throat, and then we'll start that stream. So thank you everybody so much for watching this stream. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, and now we will switch to that thing. See you later, people. See you later, Chad. Visit Nikki's stream? Is she streaming right now? I would love to. She's not streaming right now. I think she has the V stream thingy, isn't she? Oh, she is streaming. Okay, let me see. Okay, I will give her a visit. But for now, bye chat, and see you in like 15 minutes. Bye bye.